Sixers fans, what's up? Welcome back. It's a Ben Simmons video. So here we are talking about another Ben Simmons trade video. I am recording this at 1 o'clock in the morning on, I guess it's Thursday, but basically Wednesday night. I read after work that the Sacramento Kings are interested in trading for Ben Simmons. And first thing that hits my head, as it probably did yours, is De'Aaron Fox, of course. I love that kid. He's one of my favorite players in the NBA. He's an extreme talent. He's 23 years old. He's a dynamic point guard who plays both ends of the court. Swipe of the Fox is a stud. He's a stud. He just had a breakout season. It should have been an all-star. I was very much an avid supporter for him hitting the all-star game last year. I was upset when he didn't make it. Obviously, I'm here for De'Aaron Fox. The more I read, the more I go on. The Kings are saying they're not interested in trading De'Aaron Fox or Tyrese Halliburton. Now, what's interesting about that is that the Sixers said, as I've said in my previous videos, as it's very well common knowledge now, that they don't want anything that isn't an all-star level talent or a near all-star level talent, which when I'm looking at the Sacramento Kings roster, I see two players who fit that mold. Fit that category. Tyrese Halliburton and De'Aaron Fox. Now I'm thinking if the Kings aren't interested and aren't willing to send and part ways with those two dudes, who's it going to be? I read more and more. I see some hypotheticals that the Kings are reportedly looking to offer Buddy Hield and up to 3 first-round picks. I don't understand what the NBA is just not getting about Daryl Morey and the Philadelphia 76ers right now. Guys, the Sixers aren't trading Ben Simmons for future first-round picks. If I have to make one more video saying and explaining why that doesn't make sense for the time frame and the window of the Sixers right now, I'm going to lose my goddamn mind. That being said, there's no shot the Sixers make that deal. First of all, I think we could get Buddy Hield on a much, much smaller trade. I mean, they've been wanting to part ways with Buddy Hield for basically 2.5 years now. The guy doesn't fit their mold at all, doesn't fit their timeline. The guy shouldn't be a King anymore. Why the hell would we send Ben Simmons? And to be honest with you, really, if you look at Ben Simmons and you put him on the Kings, I think the Kings with Ben Simmons, De'Aaron Fox, and Tyrese Halliburton are nasty. I think that team's nasty. I really do think that team is a playoff team, so I don't think those first-round picks would convey into much. That being said, the Sixers probably are aware of that as well if Greg Melly, a YouTuber, sees that. So I don't think we're doing that deal. I also saw a deal of Buddy Hield and Marvin Bagley probably attached with picks to the Sixers for Ben Simmons. Again, I like Marvin Bagley. I think he has the potential to be pretty good. He just needs to get the hell out of Sacramento. I mean, Sacramento's not the place for a young kid to go to try and develop. It just is not. It's not a good franchise. It's probably the most poverty franchise in the NBA. That being said, the Kings are my second favorite NBA team. I love the Kings. I love the Kings for a numerous amounts of reasons, and one of those reasons is Marvin Bagley. I think Marvin Bagley has the potential to be a very good ball player. I think Marvin Bagley has flashes of a very, very talented, skilled big man. But the thing is, Bagley hasn't shown that, and Bagley hasn't shown that because of Luke Walton. Luke Walton has just... I made a video last year saying Luke Walton is the worst coach in the NBA, and I still hold true to that point. Luke Walton is genuinely the worst coach in the league because the fact that he uses the number 2 pick in one of the most stacked NBA drafts of recent time and shoves him into the corner and literally refuses to let the most athletic dude on the court use his athleticism and makes Marvin Bagley a spot-up three-point shooter in the corner, and it blows my mind. It's the worst offensive game plan. I feel bad for Marvin Bagley. Personally, I think Marvin Bagley in any other city would be a way better player. And I would love Marvin Bagley in a Sixers uniform if it weren't for Tobias Harris. Toby is not a 3. He is a very, very unique and niche type of player because of his size and lack of quickness. He's not fast, but he's not slow. Tobias Harris is a good shot creator, and he is a very, very strong post player, surprisingly. Excuse me. I know. Pretty surprising. But Toby's a good shot creator in the mid-range especially. But he does so with mismatches. He is a mismatch shot creator. He is not somebody who can take somebody similar to his size and athleticism and get a bucket off of him. He has a hard time doing that. Tobias Harris thrives in the 4, I believe, because he's quicker than most power forwards. But when he moves down to the 3, in a position where most of the guys are his size, he is not quick enough to keep up offensively or defensively. And that showed very much so when Al Horford was in town. That was a very, very big reason as to why Al Horford didn't work. It was because Tobias Harris didn't work. He had arguably one of the worst seasons of his post-developmental career because of the fact that Al Horford took the 4 and we were clunky and it wasn't enough shooting. And Tobias Harris is not quick enough to play the 3. And so I like the fact of Marvin Bagley outside of Sacramento, but it doesn't work in Philadelphia. And I think Daryl Morey recognizes that. And I think, honestly, most NBA teams recognize that because it's borderline impossible to have a 2 big man offense nowadays. And Bagley, I believe, is very skilled at a 5. I think he's a good small ball 5 or just, I don't know. I'm sure there are lineups where he can play the 4 successfully, but it's not in Philadelphia. Not in Philadelphia when the guy of Joel Embiid's status is taking the paint just hostage with his body and his low post touches and ability. Marvin Bagley is not the fix at 4 because if anything, it just makes it clunky again. And though he is nothing similar to Al Horford and he's far more athletic and probably a better shooter, to be honest with you, and he's just a better player in general, it's the same problem we have because Tobias Harris is another guy and we're just slowing down the offense. And I think there is still a better return for Ben Simmons. I believe that Ben Simmons can genuinely be poached for a guy like Bradley Beal, for a guy like Zach LaVine. And I think Zach LaVine is the most realistic because of the fact that he's on his last year of the deal and there has been no inclination of the fact that he's going to resign. And I think it would be a very, very interesting and ballsy move on Philadelphia's part if they went out and got Zach LaVine. But it's a move I would be down for because I would believe that LaVine would probably want to resign. But I'm sidetracking. Again, I think Ben Simmons would probably be moved to a Bradley Beal guy, a Zach LaVine type of guy. If the Kings are interested, the Sixers, I promise you, will not settle without getting De'Aaron Fox or Tyrese Halliburton. And I really don't even see them wanting to go out and get Tyrese Halliburton because though Tyrese is a stud, and I love the kid, I don't think he has all-star potential. And I don't think he'll ever be an all-star. Maybe I'm wrong, Maybe we're going to go watch this video 2 years from now and be like, Greg, you're an idiot. I'll gladly accept that. But I see Tyrese Halliburton as the most prototypical glue guy, the most prototypical, great, consistent player that every team needs. But I don't see him as an all-star. De'Aaron Fox is an all-star. Though he hasn't been in one yet, he is an all-star to my eyes. And I think that his dynamicism, I don't know what the word is. You know the word. With Embiid would work out perfectly in the pick and roll and in the fast break. And I just think De'Aaron Fox is a better player. If that means Ben Simmons in a pick for De'Aaron Fox, to be honest, I would do that in a heartbeat. So I think the Kings' interest is interesting for me and for fellow Sixers fans. It should be because I think that opens up the possibility of De'Aaron Fox and nothing less because I don't think the Sixers are settling for anything less than what they want. Ben Simmons is on a long-term contract. The Sixers still do have a lot of leverage. I mean, there are a lot of teams interested, and I don't think the Sixers are just going to settle for something. Ben Simmons is an all-defensive player. He is an all-star. He is a great player. He is an elite NBA player with potential higher than most guys. Just it's the fact that will he ever reach that potential, and is he something that you want to build your franchise around? Because that takes a lot of guts. It takes a lot of guts. So I'm interested. I'm interested to see where this falls down, if that makes sense. I don't know. It's late. Peace.